The aquarium industry is growing rapidly in India, but protections for fish have not been keeping pace. We spoke with Ayaan Ali Siddiqui about his research into the ornamental fish trade in India and a case in Bhopal that raised serious welfare concerns. Well, thank you so much, Ayaan, for being here to speak with us.
Yeah, I believe I am the one who should be grateful that you in the country that you live in are working for fishes, and it is rare to find people who understand fish sentience and are able to resonate with this suffering and are also working to alleviate it. So
Well,
yeah, looking forward to a meaningful conversation.
Well, you've done so much. I mean, we first connected because you had shared the video on Instagram about getting a venue in Bhopal, India, to shut down the decorative like fish tunnels, which you shared footage of that, and it was just the fish were in such terrible conditions, just used kind of like decorative objects to attract people to come to the event. So, could you kind of just explain to us what that experience was like and how you worked to challenge that?
One of our colleague reported to us that there is a aquarium tunnel which has been organized in a mela, which is a carnival, and we happened to visit that carnival. And as soon as we entered, to us at first glance, it was I would say very big in the sense that we have never saw something of this scale. And when we entered, the first tank that we observed, we saw fishes dead in those tanks. And then we moved from tank to tank. We saw all kind of horrific things. One thing that really horrified us. So there was this heater. So usually when you see a tank, there is a temperature control which is specific for aquarium tanks, and it cuts out when certain limit is reached. But in this tank there was a iron rod, and that iron rod was used to heat the water in the aquarium. And this temperature and this water rod is used for human purposes, but the same rod was used to I would say regulate the temperature of a tank, which was electrocuting fishes,
Mm.
because any fishes that was going nearby that rod was getting electrocuted. And that really horrified us. And we still gave them a chance. After visiting one day, we thought, okay, this might be a one day thing that has happened because it was newly established. It happened for the first time. So we thought, okay, let's give the organizers a space to rectify the mistakes. Because I went to the desk of the organizer and said that this is something that is happening, and please can you get it corrected? They said yes, we will, and so on and so forth. Then we decided to visit the second day, and in that day we recorded every single death that we were able to observe. So we visited thrice on the third day, and we saw the same thing. And then we collected evidences. We took geotag photographs. We took photos of the passes which were issued once you pay a certain amount, because these things were established so as to make people entertained. And according to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, this is the Bear Act, which basically says that cruelty to animals is a punishable offense. And there are also particularly rules about animals used for entertainment. And when animals are used for entertainment, they must be the organizer must take permission from the Animal Welfare Board of India and take license from them, and must have NOC from them so as to display any sort of animals for entertainment unless and until they are used for scientific purposes. So these fishes were not used for any scientific purposes or educational purposes. They were simply used for entertainment purposes. We directly went to the ACP, which is the Assistant Commissioner of Police, and we explained him what is happening, and he laughed at us that how can fishes be considered as animals. And then we brought in law. Law says that any living being other than human being is an animal. That means fishes are also animal. Therefore, this act applies on them. Hence, if these animals, particularly these fishes, are subjected to cruelty, you must take cognizance and register a first information report. But he refused to do so. We still went with to him again and again, and he did not do anything except he wrote a letter to the fisheries department. He said that we are not the competent authority to intervene. The fisheries department would be the competent authority to intervene and make things correct. And we said, okay, this makes sense to us because fisheries department deals in the work of fishes. So why not? So they involved the fisheries department. A committee was formed of 3 people, and then we went for the inspection. But sadly, police did inform everybody and also the organizers of the aquarium. And they magically fixed everything. When we went for the inspection, there was a veterinarian who was taking care of fishes. Every tank was clean. There were less fishes. Nothing in our eyes was wrong. And that is when they laughed at us. That see these people, fool people coming here, doing nuisance, trying to defame us in the name of animals. And I was there. Around 6 people ganged up to me. I was in the middle. 6 people ganged up, and there was this tall guy who was the head of the mela. He was trying to threaten me that if you do anything else, we would be violent towards you. And I simply said to him that I have no vendetta against you. Even I don't even know you. I don't know what your name is. The only concern that I have is about fishes. And if you keep fishes in a good manner, we won't trouble you at all. In fact, you can display fishes as long as you want to. But the only condition is that you must abide the rule and you must take fish welfare into action. And that is when they some sort of understood that we do not come from the intention of troubling you or defaming you, but we come from the intention to let the animal live in a peaceful way so that they can enjoy their 5 freedom for animal welfare. So this happened after the inspection. Next day, same issue. It was just one day good thing that happened for fishes. And that is when we decided to reach out to the district judicial magistrate. And we went, file a complaint. It was a private complaint. We argued our case because we did not find a lawyer who would argue on our behalf. There was no lawyer who understood what our plight was. In fact, there were lawyers who were asking us not to go to the court because if you would go to the court would fine a penalty on you if the case would be a frivolous case. And I mean, when he said this is not a frivolous case, this is something happening in Bhopal, and it is true. We have facts, we have evidence, we have testimonies, we have everything. So how can the case be frivolous? So we still went ahead, and our case went for 1 year. We fought the case for 1 year. Every single hearing, we went to the CGM. We argued our case. Yes, we got help from people from national capital as well. They helped us guide us through that what should be the next step, what should we avoid, because we were new into this. And we recently also completed our Ahimsa fellowship. And this fellowship was about animal advocacy. So we were some sort of empowered of what to do and what not to do. So the judge really listened to us, I would say, in a very interesting manner. His eyes and ears were open, and he was listening to us very cautiously of what is happening, why it is happening. But in the end, he said, after 1 year, and this was going for 2 years. So 1 year passed away, and he said that your intentions are right. You are aware citizens. You are young, and you are fighting for justice. I am in consonance with it. But the only thing that you're missing is that you do not have enough facts to prove that cruelty to fishes is happening. And because this was the first ever complaint that was filed in a court about fish cruelty, even we were clueless of how to bring facts onto the table. So that thing happened. The judge said that there is not much we can do, but you can reach out to the fisheries department and see what can happen. And I believe the judge must have done something with the fisheries department. He must have opened doors for us. And when we went to the fisheries department was very open for us. They said we would help you out in every possible way. And that is when they issued the first ever advisory in India about reducing or eliminating cruelty to fishes, and also recognizing that cruelty to fishes is a thing that happens and it must be avoided when these tanks are established.
Wow,
So
it's
this was
just incredible. And I know Ishita is not here to speak with us, but she was a big part of that. She's your colleague, just for context for people.
absolutely, absolutely. I can't express how grateful I am that she was my colleague, because any other person would have given up, but she didn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard enough advocating for fish when people don't take it seriously, right? So it's really incredible how persistent you both were, and it's really inspiring. Because this is huge, actually. I mean, it's a case, you said it's like the first ever case where they are showing that fish welfare matters under the law in India. So that's really huge. You co-authored a paper on the fish keeping industry in India. So I know we have a couple questions. Maybe we can touch on that a bit. I think
Yes.
Christiana has a question about it.
Yes, thank you, Ayan. Your work is really inspiring. It's really cool to hear about. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions about the ornamental fish industry in India. You wrote in your paper about how it's a rapidly growing industry and how more and more people are keeping fish on display or as pets, and that there are a lot of issues with handling and transport and other stages along the way. So I would love to just hear a little bit more about what some of the concerning parts of the ornamental fish trade industry are, maybe what worries you the most about it and how rapidly it's growing.
So Ishita would have done more justice to this question, but I'll try to uh, answer this. So, after doing this thing in Bhopal, the people in Delhi asked us to do a scoping study and visit 5 states in India where ornamental fish breeding happens on a very large scale. So, me, Ishita, Lalita, Sonia, these were 4 people who basically worked on this project. And we visited these 5 states. And particularly, I would like to specifically go for the state called Tamil Nadu. And if I want to be precise, I'll go for the city in Tamil Nadu, which is Chennai. And if I would go more precise, it would be a market in Chennai called Kolathur Market. And Kolathur Market is a market where ornamental fish breeding industry is the hub that can be said in India. The most worrisome aspect we saw during this scoping study was the transportation part. Around 90% fishes die during the transportation because either they do not mix DO properly, which is dissolved oxygen, or when they through gaseous oxygen, they try to inflate the plastic bag. It goes through a lot of, I would say, heavy transportation. A person picks up and throws it somewhere. A second person picks up, throws it somewhere, and there are fishes inside of it. And because this is a plastic bag and it is wrapped up by a rubber, and it goes through back and forth, to and fro, and this throw, that throw. Eventually, the oxygen starts to deplete, and when the oxygen starts to deplete, the fishes starts to suffocate, and the fishes, when start to suffocate, they starts to excrete a lot, and when they starts to excrete a lot of ammonia and nitrogen comes into the water, and due to which they die. So we saw that the whole transportation cycle starts from the ponds. In these ponds, these people breed these fishes on a very large scale. When they are big enough, they transport them to a plastic bag. They put gaseous oxygen into it. Then a person comes on a scooty. They put all of the plastic bag onto a big rucksack, and then it reaches to a shop. But after reaching to a shop, they are opened up again. They're displayed for public attraction and inviting customers, and they're hung onto the I would say outside of the shops, so that people could be attracted.
Wow. I mean, your paper, you just cover so much that a lot of people don't even think about. We see fish in homes or in stores, but your paper really covers like the breeding of them and the transport. There's so many different aspects to consider that I think the average person never even realizes. So um, we're definitely going to link your paper in the video description. I think everyone should read it. It's really, really quite informative, and you're kind of sounding the alarm now before the industry really takes off, because I know that was one of your um, points, is that it's the aquarium industry in India is really about to explode, and
Yes.
the welfare standards haven't really caught up yet.
Yes, there as of now there are no guidelines, no rules, no sort of legally binding way to regulate this industry. This industry is booming every day. Around 1 million people as of now in India are in the fish aquarium hobby, and it is increasing day by day. And the fisheries ministry wants to make this industry less regulated as possible, because they want to see a boom. Because as of now, India is witnessing is blue revolution. So India had green revolution, India had white revolution, which was about uh, milk. Now India is witnessing is blue revolution, which is about fisheries.
Oh,
And that is why there is a boom in this industry, which without any regulation. I happen to have met the minister of fisheries in a very private event, and I told him about this, and he said that we'll do something about it, but as of now they haven't done anything about it.
yeah.
So I believe we need more people to be talking about this. We need more people to be discussing about fish welfare. And I know I had people from the animal rights, animal welfare space to have ridiculed us that this is too early to speak about fishes. I believe there is nothing too early when you have seen something that is happening. In a sense, there is are fishes which are being subjected to cruelty. So I don't think that it is too early. If we witness this, that means it was the right time, and it is the right time. If somebody hadn't witnessed it, then I would have agreed. But because we have, I wouldn't say that is too early. It is the right time. Because if we, if this time is lost, I don't know when would be the next best time to speak of fishes. So I really appreciate the kind of work that you are doing, because I got really inspired. Plus the name of that you have co- come up with, better words for betas. So that's a really unique and distinct name, which really caught my attention, because I was scrolling through Instagram one day because of the fishes thing, and I saw your Instagram page, and I got inspired the work that you're trying to do, and I wish Godspeed to your work,
Thank you.
and hope
And
to
to you.
see that more collaborations do come in future with you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, and to you and Ishita as well. It's always so nice to connect with people who care so much about fish, and you're doing really, really important work, and you're persevering despite people who don't always understand the importance of it. Um, I know it's extremely important, and I hope your paper and all of the work that you've done helps to sort of shape how this industry is developing in India. Thank you
Right.
again so much, Ayan.
Thank you, Ayan. It was very inspiring to hear.
Likewise.